Yeah, yeah, we was born. We were sold out the blood and ancestors who used to be owned. You became soldiers, we the ones who broke the mold. Take a hood nigga, turn into a piece of fine gold. The you fast, the same cats who run up in your house with a black mask. Used to never do good, now we can't do bad. That's why every time I touch the mic, I do fast. My nigga, this that bounce of a Baghdad. Rolling with the general, sipping and scratch tags. Boots, praise, figures, nigga, tied in first class. And you became bad, if you flying in high masks. Take ground, all over the Atlas. These fake groups, nigga, know they will not last. You niggas hit with us, then you ain't getting no bag. If you got a problem, you can kiss my whole black ass. And if you tryna jump shit, then this is your last chance. This that war music, but they cooking up slow jams. I don't give a fuck what niggas think, I just go ham. These niggas on the net and they be acting like hoes, man. They with that back and forth shit, bitch, I'm a grown man. I ain't need a strap, I got hands like Conan. So come correct and watch your words when you a ghost man. You became no cowards every day if you're a no man. So you can lay down or you can get with the program, you bitch nigga. I will whoop that trick, nigga. You don't want the smoke, I will like that brick, nigga. You sick, nigga. I be talking really Lynch, nigga. That's why your doctor don't fix niggas. Talking slicker when we see you face to face, you shitting bricks, nigga. 30 seconds, you snitch, nigga. Got a problem? Well, which nigga? Take your pick, nigga. Step up or sit down when you piss, nigga. There's no surrender, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause you know we smack clowns. Got killers chilling in the background right now. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, no, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, and we won't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down.
Ain't no backing down, nothing back in town. Pass the crown, have me whoop your ass, leave the scene, and come back around. Hating on us, that ain't lucrative, ain't no duplicate. Roll up on you in the Uber bitch, all that stupid shit. Fuck the foolishness, keep the hammer like I'm too legit. Me and Kylie got the sonic clip, let the llama fit. Rip a punch, a whole conglomerate. We just dominant, real life service for Christ is who I'm rhyming with. Lyrical anomaly, stupid and record prodigy. Where your body beats, you should set me up economically. But real is obsolete and the fake is taking a higher seat. So I'm cutting ties and cutting throats. I gotta be UPK to the death. Who wanna follow me? March with them A's and text. I bring the cavalry, bring a nominee. He can't see me, he need optometry. They ain't got the vision, I bury my opposition. Carry my fellow warriors, so my spirit is risen. Niggas is pushing lies, confusing with politicians. They talking about building walls and breaking barriers. Listen, with every verse that I log in the database of my wisdom, for every brother that's called and breaking weight in this nation. I know that you had it hard, I know about the life you living, and I ain't backing down for shit. Just keep on wishing, never turn my back on my brothers. I never will hold it down for my brothers still waiting on that appeal. Hold your ground, hold your head, even though it's a heavy crown. Keep it real, even if it's deep water, you never drown. You became a team and we here to defend the title. Murder any camp in our class, so check the vitals. We live in every word, we the prophets about the Bible. And none who think soft with the trigger pull on his rifle.
But no surrender, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause you know we smack clowns. Got killers chilling in the background right now. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, no, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, and we won't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down.
I represent true niggas with crucial intent. No excuses, just remain ruthless. These niggas, how they get loose with this pen, I never back down. Too many soldiers in the background. Righteous man, pussy strapped down. What's happening now? I call shots, who the captain now? Bet you waited with in a war. War thrones in the crown, fucking Kevin Gown. Listen, these niggas only hard on the timeline.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Priest Officer 500 Karyash. Here back again with ISUPK Res, ISUPK Reservations. Here to give you another breakdown, of course, to all our so-called North American Indians, so-called Hispanics, all our brothers, natives of this continent, from North America to South America, all scattered across the four corners of the earth. You understand? We're here, man. We're gonna break down today, President's Day. Now, it seems like I should be able to go out saying that you shouldn't celebrate President's Day. You know, reason to partake in President's Day, but of course, there's many of our people that still don't know the history. Same with that, is the same way people still celebrate the 4th of July. Same way they still celebrate the 4th of July. Same way they still celebrate Thanksgiving. To this day in 2021, our people are still destroyed, and we still dumb. To put it in the simplest terms the simplest way I could put it for you is we still dumb in this land. America has destroyed the so-called North American Indian. America has destroyed the Hispanic. America has destroyed the black man. That's why you see us all up and down up the streets today. I destroyed people. That's the best way you can talk about us. When you talk about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, it's rarely anything positive. It's always something negative. Why? Because we're a destroyed people. We're a people destroyed by the land that we're in. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, this has happened because we're God's chosen people. And that's the message that the ISUPK have been bringing out since 1969. That's what we're going to touch on today. Because the presidents of this land, this whole nation of people, this nation they want to call America, they slaughtered us for it. They murdered us for it. They murdered over 77 million North American Indians, and that just in the North American continent, not counting our brothers in South and Central America. You understand? So millions of lives were lost. They tried committing mass genocide against the people. Not tried, they did. They committed mass genocide to damn near with the North American Indian and all about a proverb, man. That's what you gotta realize. The so-called North American Indian, the native of this land, the person that you should see the most, because he's the original inhabitor of this land, you don't see him nowadays. It's a rarity when you see a so-called North American Indian. Like when people see me and they know and they can tell by my features I'm native, they amazed, they're mystified. Because our people are supposed to be exterminated with. That's what America did to us. America did to the so-called North American Indian, blacks and Hispanics. They tried to exterminate us. They tried to wipe us off the face of the earth. And that's how great their hatred is, man. From George Washington all down to Trump to even Biden himself, man. So many of you natives think Biden is some savior, that he gonna do amazing things. You know, he stopped the pipeline, and just because of that, he gonna make sure the cops start blowing our brains out. When you gotta stop living in a fairy tale, man. You gotta stop thinking that this nation is gonna change. This nation was built on your bloodshed. It was continue to keep building itself upon your bloodshed. That's what we gotta realize. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, this nation, this country has never loved you. Everything you've done for this land, everything you've done for this country, it has never loved you. It has never commemorated you, it has never respected you, it never showed a day of remembrance, anything. Even from the smallest of things. They give you Section 8 food stamps and they call you lazy. They give you Section 8, all that. They give you everything. They what they give us is crumbs, so you can understand. They give us crumbs in this land and they call it everything. They say you're lazy. They say you don't got a job. You know, they literally destroyed us as a people, took us and brainwashed us to now we're at the point we don't even remember who we are. And that's why we need classes like this, because the so-called North American Indian, so-called Hispanics, you ask them today where their heritage comes from, where everything comes from, they're going to tell you they Mongolians, man. They Asians. They came all from the land of the Asiatic land bridge and all that nonsense. And that's all it is, nonsense. It can't be proven. It's a lie. It's a theory made up by a Jesuit priest, by the Catholics, by the Christian church to keep us submissive, man. And that's all it is. That's why you need the ISUPK to show the North American Indian how to live life, to rub all the mysticism and the lies that has been put into our lives. But of course, we're gonna get into the scriptures. We're gonna go Joel 3 verses 19 through 21. So follow me there. Follow me there. Joel 3 verses 19 through 21. Follow me there. And this is what we gotta realize. This Bible right here, this Bible is not no fairy tale book. The Bible is God's word. That's what we gotta realize. And it was written by blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians prior to us being here in America. Because as we know, life originated in the Middle East. But the thing of the matter is this: the North American Indians did not come from a land bridge. The North American Indians is described in this Bible of where they came from. They came from the nation of Israel. And you want to know more about that, we got 12 Tribes lecture, and we also have many different videos about it on our channel. All throughout ISUPK Res and ISUPK Reservations. This is something we touch on thousands of times because North American Indians think we don't study. You know, I'm not saying all of us, but a lot of people, a lot of Uncle Tomahawks out there, if I like to call them Uncle Tomahawks, these brothers that love our oppressors so much and don't want to cope to the reality that we are Israelites. They gonna tell us, man, we don't study, we don't research, we don't do all this, blase. When in reality, this Bible is 100% fact. That's all the research we need. Well, of course, if you want to play that game, we have the archaeology, we have the history, and it's all around. So if you believe in not the transatlantic, the land bridge theory, the Asiatic land bridge theory, and all that, then here's the point of it. If you believe in that, you are Christian at the end of the day, because a Christian made that up. A Christian made that up with no theory, no science whatsoever. And he said, well, that's how the Native American Indians came here. When in reality, you can find out that the Pope knew that the so-called North American Indians were the tribe of Gad. They knew the Seminole Indians were the tribe of Reuben. And that's why he sent Christopher Columbus here to enslave these people. You can read that all through Christopher Columbus's journal. He ain't come here because he thought the earth was flat and all that nonsense. No. Christopher Columbus knew that the world was round, and he knew he wasn't going to India. He knew he was coming to the Americas, because the Americas is described in the Bible, in the Apocrypha. And he came here to enslave the so-called North American Indians and the Hispanics, man. That's exactly what he did. And since that time, the presidents of this country, the governors, the politicians, they've been continuing his job. They've been continuing the job to keep our people oppressed and down under. And we're going to get it in the scriptures. We're going to go Joel chapter 3, verse 19. Follow me there. The book of Joel chapter 3, verse 19. Egypt shall be desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Now they're talking about the Edomites. Who are the Edomites according to the Bible? The so-called colonizer, Europeans, whatever you want to call them, the oppressor. Him, that's who this Bible confirms that he is the Edomites. He's the nation of Edom. So wherever you hear Edom in the Bible, Esau is talking about this nation of people that have enslaved us and murdered us. And that's why the Lord says right here, Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Why? Because what the Lord's going to do to America and what he's amping up to do and what you're seeing all around you right now is he's gathering up World War III for America to be destroyed in thermonuclear warfare. That's what it's talking about right here. Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Meaning what? America is going to be desolate. It's going to be destroyed. Everything you think America is the greatest country lasting 500 years. It's going to stand tall and proud and home of the brave and land of the free and all that nonsense. It's going down, man. Every major empire, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Assyrian Empire, all these empires fell, man, and the Lord made them fall. The Greeks, the Romans, all these people are going to fall. You want to know why? Because all these places fell, I should say, because they kept the Lord's people in slavery. Same with America. The way America keeps itself running, just like Assyria, just like Egypt, just like the Greeks, the way they kept this place running, man, the way they're keeping America running is through putting so-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, the Israelites, aka the Israelites, in slavery doing their bidding. And that's what you see nowadays, man. So-called North American Indian, blacks and Hispanics, man, you ain't free. You ain't never been free. Or you go off the street, get shot in the back, and no one gives a damn about you, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, well, we have to realize that this place is done for. And it's going to be done for your sake. America is on a time clock. It's on borrowed time. The scriptures say that. The The devil know he had but a short time. And that's what's going on here in America. They know their time is short, so they're gonna keep ramping up the oppression. They're gonna keep ramping up all the desolation and destruction they do to you, because they know their destruction is coming. They know they got a date with Christ himself, and he gonna make sure that they pay for everything they done against you, man. Look, even during the COVID-19, Donald Trump took land from damn near what? I believe it was 20 acres from North American Indians out there in Massachusetts, I believe. He took that land away from them, man, in the middle of the COVID-19. They didn't get no help, no support, no nothing during the whole coronavirus case. But then Donald Trump will go ahead and take the land from them, man. And this is what's going on because they don't give a damn about the North American Indian. They don't give a damn about the Hispanic, man. They give a damn about keeping us down and in slavery. They give a damn about keeping us drug addicts. They give a damn about keeping us alcoholics. They give a damn about keeping us in broken homes. That's what they give a damn about. But they don't give a damn about us as a people. They don't give a damn about what you do there, man. As long as you stay high, hey, a white man don't give a damn about you. As long as you stay a Christian, he don't care what you do. But once you get out of that mentality, once you get out of that slavery that's in your mind, then you're going to see. Oh, man, it's going to be a different ball game then. But let's continue. Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, so-called children of Judah. That's what the so-called Negroes here in America. Let's continue. Because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Now, this is not only talking about the children of Judah, meaning just black people. It's talking about the North American Indians and the Hispanics as well. And you're going to see when we go on down. They're going to pay for all the crimes that they committed against you. They're going to pay for everything wrong they committed against us as a people. That's what you got to realize. Let's continue. Verse 20. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. Jerusalem is talking about the so-called Northern Kingdom, the Hispanics, the North American Indians. You got to realize that at the time of King David, blacks and Hispanics, just like you see nowadays, they're divided. We were divided as a people back in the times of King David, and we're divided now. That's why you don't see blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians together as we used to be. We know we're similar. We know there's a similar destruction between us, especially with the North American Indian and the so-called black people. We know this. We know we're both similarly destroyed. We know we're both going at it in hell. But we don't want to sit down with each other. We just want to, you go through your own thing, I go through my own thing, and you have a good one. That's it. We don't put in our head that we have to unite and come together. But that's what Command Johanna and the ISUPK teaches us. ISUPK teaches for blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, for us to overcome all these curses, for us to overcome all this destruction, drug abuse, molestation, Christianity, everything wicked that has been given out against us in these last days, is we're going to have to join together. We're going to have to call each other brother once again, as is said in the Bible. But let's continue. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. I was talking about right there. How is he going to cleanse the blood? Because our blood has been spilled on this land. The Lord's going to cleanse our blood by destroying this land. Because the Lord dwelleth in Zion, meaning what? Zion meaning Israel. The Lord dwelleth with Israel. He don't dwell with any other nation. He don't dwell with the Chinese. He don't dwell with the Arabs. He don't dwell with the East Indians. He dwells with blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. Those are his chosen people. And because the Lord dwells with us, he going to make sure America pays, man. And he going to make sure they pay with a lake of fire, where there's going to be nuclear destruction, man. And the reason I pull that scripture out is to show you that the Lord is picking us over all these other nations. And they're going to pay for everything they done to us. From Andrew Jackson, from George Washington, from Ulysses S. Grant starting the war with the North American Indians. All these presidents, man, they never gave a damn about you. They never give a damn about you, man. Even Barack Obama. Everybody swears Barack Obama was the greatest president to ever exist. You want to know why? Because you think he's black. You think he's black and you think that's what we need back in office. When he started the mass deportation of the so-called Mexicans, over 11.8 million Mexicans were deported. Not just Mexicans, I want to say Hispanics as a whole were deported under the Obama administration. But we don't want to talk about that. Why? Because we want to think Obama was one of us, and Obama wouldn't do that. And that was Biden's president. That was Biden's president. He was vice president with Obama at that time. But now Biden's president. You think all this deportation is going to stop? You think all these crimes against the North American Indians and black people are going to stop? It's going to keep going, man. It's going to keep going, and it's not going to stop until Christ comes back. Until our Lord comes and we realize, and He puts them in through exactly what they put us through. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. But for that day to come, we have, as a people, to join together once again. We got to come back into this knowledge that we forgot for generations. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, it's no mystery that much of our culture is missing from us. It's no mystery that much of our culture was stolen. And not only is that the case, but much of our culture is now being worded by someone else. Someone else is portraying to be us. Some Ashkenazi Jews that you see out there in Israel calling themselves Israelis. They pretending to be you. Hell, the Palestinians, they out there. They not the true inhabitants of their land. Everybody knows the Israelites dwelt there before all of them, man. Palestinians, they is out there occupying the land. Just like the so-called Israelis. When really that's your land. Here in America, this is the land you first came to. While you were escaping the persecution out there in the Assyrians, you can find that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. But how come you don't know this? How come you don't know all this as part of your history? How come we don't know the language that we once knew, the lost one could die? So you can see broken in native tongue. You can see broken amongst the Hispanic languages. Broken amongst the Brazilian languages. How come we don't know what we used to know? Why? Because blacks, Hispanics, North American Indians, we were put in slavery, man, and we were taught to forget everything that we knew. We were told and made to forget everything that we once knew. That's why this seems like so mysterious when it's not. This is our original culture. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. So return back to it. We gotta read this Bible. This ain't no white man's book, man. This is our book that they stole from us. Let's continue. We're going to drop that, and we're going to go, let's go Jeremiah, not Jeremiah. We're going to get Baruch in the Apocrypha, 4 verses 1. Follow me there. Chapter 4, verse 1. If you've never seen the Apocrypha before, there's the books, I believe the 14 books that was taken out the Bible. A lot of people like to say there's books taken out the Bible. It's true. These are the 14 books that were taken out the Bible. But if you have a 1611 King James version of the Bible, these books will be in there. If you don't have a 1611, you won't have to pick one up like this called the Apocrypha. It's called the Apocrypha. You can find it. It's a little red book, and it's the authorized King James version as well. And these are the 14 books that they removed out the Bible. And the reason they removed it out the Bible is because it talks about the North American Indians and the Hispanics coming into America. Talks about the Greeks and the Romans, how they overtook Jerusalem and all the wicked things. It talks about a bunch of historical events that they don't want you to know are connected to the Bible. But let's continue. We're going to get, like I said, Baruch, the 4th chapter and the 1st verse. Baruch 4:1. Y'all could, man, like I said, if you could, make sure you like, share. You watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Let's get this information out to our so-called North American Indian brothers, man. It's so important that our people know this information that they were made to forget. Let's continue. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but as such leave it shall die. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Once blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, once we left this book, once we forgot these laws and these statutes and these commandments, what happened to us? We started dying, man. We came here to America and we tried to follow the ways of the Lord. You can find that in the book of the Hebrews, the View of the Hebrews, 1825. You'll find that in Lost Tribes and Promised Land. They have historical evidence that the North American Indians and the Hispanics were here, and they were committing ceremonies unto the Lord. They had the lunar calendar. They were doing that just like the scriptures say. They had fringes all around the garments. They wore headpieces, man. That's Israelite culture right there. And many of them even had cleanliness laws, ways to clean yourself, and not only ways to clean yourself, but ways to eat. That they didn't eat everything that they saw. How come you don't know that? Because the oppressor wants to take that knowledge away from you. Because once you come into these commandments, into these laws, you're going to have life. That's why Christ said what, man? That he got the waters of living life, and he gives freely to any man that wants it. You won't have to want this knowledge, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, if you think you gain knowledge in them churches and the Catholic Church and any other religion, man, you're not getting none of that. You're getting nothing but a bunch of BS to take your money. I'm telling you what, I'm keeping it 100 with you. What's actually going on? But if you want the truth that been hidden away from you for generations, you gotta come into the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge and get what Command John Yohanan. Okay, he's the true leader for so-called North American Indians, blacks, and Hispanics. You want to get drugs off the reservation, man? You gotta be with Command John Yohanan. You want to stop molestation? You want to stop the stealing of our sisters? You gotta get with Command John Yohanan. Command John Yohanan got a plan for everything according to the Bible. That's what we do. We live our life by this book, and by that, we're going to keep growing. The Israelite school, you're going to see the Israelite school universal and practical knowledge keep on growing. Keep on going till Christ returns. And you're going to see all these other organizations that claim that they're for the Native American, that claim they're for the Hispanic, that claim for black people, that you're going to see them crumble, man. You're going to see them fall. You want to know why? Because the ISUPK is the only ones with the knowledge of life for our people. This book, this Bible, the proper breakdowns of this book and this Bible. Let's continue. Verse 2, turn thee, O Jacob. Who's Jacob? So-called North American Indians. He's talking about you. That's your forefather. We all come from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was later turned into Israel, and we are his sons, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Manasseh. All those are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You can even see in the Bible that they became lost. How did they become lost? That's what you never were taught. Where did they end up at? They ended up here in America, lost and destroyed. So the scripture is saying, now, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. What is this talking about, man? Go with the scriptures. You know, people always want to talk about, man, I'm woke, bro. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the oppressing, man, they did that to us. Yeah, you're right. You know, white people are the devil. You know, all that. You know, but they smoking weed. They getting high. They're homosexual. They in the Christian church. They think they know everything, man. But they're not in the law, statutes, and commandments are in this Bible. They don't know nothing. But once you come into this school and you learn this knowledge and you get taught these scriptures, then you're going to be illuminated. Then you're going to have the knowledge that so many think they have. When you look outside these doors, the doors of the Israelite school, UPK, is the walking dead out there. It's people just living life day to day. That isn't living. What's your purpose in life? To get money? To go sleep with anyone that'll sleep with you? To go get high? That's what your life is worth? In reality, we have a greater purpose, man. The greatest purpose on this earth, which is to serve our God. The one true God. You got the one true living power, man. While everybody else, they're praying to fake gods. They're praying to a fake white Jesus right now. Your grandma, she got down on her nightstand. Now you serve it. They're praying to a Buddha, a little emerald little piece of Buddha. They think that's going to save them. The Muslims out there, they're praying to a damn rock. They're praying to Mecca. That they God right there. That gonna grow wings and save them. And you're the only ones that got a power that brought the COVID-19, that brought the destruction, the hurricanes, that's gonna bring nuclear warfare to America. This is what you're gonna see unleashed in these last days. But for you to be a part of it and not be a victim of it, you gotta be illuminated, man. You gotta come to the knowledge. You gotta turn thee away and turn to the scriptures, turn to the commandments, turn to the laws that you were made to forget. Let's continue. Verse 3, give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. What is this talking about? The laws, our commandments. Things that make blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians who we are. Even to this day, blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians, we still got pieces of our culture left. The braids, that's Israelite culture. The fringes all on our garments, all on our clothing. That's in the Bible. That's Israelite apparel right there. Even the way some of us eat, some tribes out there, they don't eat certain foods. Hell, the cleanliness laws, like I said. But all these other ways, we let other nations take. We don't want to be the Israelites now. Now we want to be Asians. We want to be Africans. We want to be Spaniards. That's what we want to be. We want to be Latinx. It's a Latinx. It's as dumb as can be. You understand? We want to be Latino. We want to be African American. That's what we want to be. We don't want to be the Israelites no more. Why? Because they've been taken away from us. And now that these scriptures and these commandments have been taken away from us, now another nation holds them. The nation of Edom holds them. The Amalekites, Amalek, the tribe of Amalek, which is part of the Edomite nation. Get what I'm saying? Amalek, which who you know nowadays as the Ashkenazi Jew living out there in Israeli and calling themselves Israelis living out there in Israel. They got your culture now. They claiming to be the world's greatest people, and they living like it, man. They control every monopoly out here. They out there. They control the Diamond District. They control what? They control the news, the media, everything, the banks. Like this ain't, you know, people always say when we bring stuff up like that, that's anti-Semitic. Well, am I wrong? Is it not mainly the so-called Jewish people that own the media? Is it not mainly the so-called Jewish people that own all the banks and the systems? And if it's not them, it's the so-called white man right next to them, which is their brother. Let's continue. Verse 4, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us. And we should be happy, man. Us as a people, we should be happy when we read this Bible and realize it. Want to know why? Because we should be happy, Israel. Why? Because we know the ways to please God. These other nations, they don't know how to please God. You know, we can end the COVID-19, man, if all blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians just please God, just like how we did in the time of Egypt. All the plagues were taking everyone else out. The plagues were taking out every firstborn in the house except the Israelites that put the blood of the lamb on their doorstep. That could happen again here in America, but want to know why it won't happen? Because we don't really believe in God. You don't really believe in God. If you believed in God, if you believed in the higher power, you would live by his laws. You live by his commandments. You live by the way he told you to live, because those are the ways pleasing to him. But if you live a life of a sinner, if you live the life of a drug addict, you live the life of an alcoholic, you live the life of a child abuser, of a woman abuser. Hell, you're a woman and you abuse your spouse. You live the life of a sinner. That's where we are turned from. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, we're so downtrodden and beaten down because our oppressor was able to overcome us. He overcame us by convincing us to never open this book and telling us that it was his book. And through him telling us it was his book, we never find God. We'll go through every church. We'll go through every major religion. The Native American is famous for that. The Native Americans, man, I know many Native American Indians. I'm a Native myself. I know tons of them in many different religions and many new age nonsense and practices in this world. And none of them are following the ways of the Lord. They're all lost. They don't know what they're doing. They're just doing something that makes them feel good. It makes them happy. The Israelite school UPK, we don't do things that make us feel good. We do things that make us uncomfortable. And that's what pleases the Lord. Getting out of your comfort zone. Having brothers go in and out of towns, man. You driving 4 hours to get to a camp spot. Hell, coming out of our pocket to feed the people. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. We got food drives, clothing drives, GED drives. Hell, paying our tithes so we can get more programs to help our people. See, but in the Christian church, it's comfortable. It's all singing and dancing. And you don't got to worry if you're a drug addict. You don't got to worry about if you're a homosexual. Everybody can come as you are and stay as you are and be pleased, and God will love you that way. When that's not the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is you got to change to please the Lord. That's what the scripture is talking about. We happy to us because we know the way to please God. These other nations don't know how to please God. Let's continue. It's like, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us. Verse 5, be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Verse 6, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. Now, there's the Lord telling us right here. You were sold to the other nations. You've been sold onto our oppressor. All these nations that run and take advantage of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, the Chinese, the Arabs, that set up spots in our communities, that bleed the so-called North American Indian, Hispanics, and black people dry. All these other nations, we were sold onto them, man. They took us captive. They sent us out to Europe and Great Britain and France and Italy. A lot of people don't know that. The so-called North American Indian, the Hispanics, we got a ton of family out there that we don't even know about. They got sold on slave ships out there. And they sold us in abundance, man. They sold us all throughout these other nations. And then what happened? We were sold not for our destruction, the Lord says. You weren't sold to the nations for your destruction. That's not why God put you through this. You ever hear someone say that? Man, if there's a God, man, how come he let us go through slavery? If there's a God, how come he let crack happen? You know, if there's a God, how come, you know, he let that baby die? That's what the Lord's talking about right here. Don't fall for that. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. But let's see why we were sold for the other nations. You were sold to the other nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath. That's why we were sold to the other nations. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, you got sold here on slave ships, but because we displeased the Lord, because we hated our brother. That's why when Christ came on the scene, what did he teach about the most? Brotherhood. His own mother and his family came out, and they said, and his brother, they're like, man, your brother and your sister and your wife, they're right. His wife, like, your mother, they right here, man. Don't you want to go talk to them? He said, man, who's my brother? Who's my mother? Them that do the work of the Lord. And that's the Israelite school, UPK. The Lord, Christ came to teach us brotherhood reimagined. You want to know why? Because prior to Christ, the Israelites hated each other. The Northern Kingdom versus Southern Kingdom, just like you see nowadays, is the blacks and Hispanics going at it. Blacks and Native American Indians having no peace together. You know, we got issues with each other when we all being attacked by the same person. You know, we all suffering one oppression by one person oppressing us, but we can't see it and we gonna beef with each other. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, you've been divided and conquered. You've been divided and now we're conquered. And now you don't see them as the problem. You see your brother as the problem. Native American not going to see no so-called oppressor or colonizer as a problem. Oh, man, no, it's not him. It's the Mexicans. You know how many times I sat down with Native American and they tried to tell me that? They're like, man, what the Mexicans coming into this land and you know, they're ruining the jobs and they're ruining our country. I'm like, our country? The hell you talking about? You own nothing here. You're going to talk about the Mexicans or they're going to talk about black people. Same with black people. You're going to disrespect the Mexicans. The Mexicans are going to disrespect black people. We've been divided and conquered, man. And because of that, and because we're staying conquered and we're staying divided as a people, we're still moving the Lord to wrath. Let's continue. But because ye moved God to wrath, ye were delivered onto the enemies. And because we moved the Lord to wrath, man, we got put against our enemies, meaning our enemies now hold of us. You understand? They hold the chains of us. The so-called Europeans, the Chinese, they all benefit from us being in slavery. They all benefit from us being down and under. Because by us being down and under, Lord can't really serve. Through blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians staying at a submissive place, Christ's kingdom will never come. For Christ's kingdom to come, blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians must unite as one people. That's what's got to happen. You got to stop following the ways of our oppressor. You got to stop following Christianity. You got to stop following Catholicism. You got to stop following all these other religions that are full of lies. You understand? Let's continue. Verse 7. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God. And that's what we do here now. Once you serve, and then we'll realize when you get an abortion, you serve another God. You out there getting high, you serving another God. You out there molesting a child, you serving another God. These are all other ways we serve other gods through us being wicked. Through us serving. You smoke weed, you serving the gods of the Rastafarians, you serving the gods of the East Indians. The East Indians used to get high as a kite. That's why you saw them with the dreads. Hell, you got dreads. I know natives and Hispanics with dreads. I'm just like, what? I'm like, the hell you wearing dreads for, man? Are you the last person I suspect to wear some dreads? And y'all out here wearing dreads as well. If you're a so-called native or Hispanic or black man wearing dreads, man, that's a sin. These are ways we serve other gods. Hell, you a whore, you're a prostitute. You sell your body, you serving another god. You celebrate Valentine's Day, you serving another god. You celebrating President's Day, serving another god. These are all gods you put before yours, man. And that's why the Lord is angry with us. Because we'd rather celebrate every other holiday. We'd rather take place in everything else except the truth, except the knowledge we were made for, which is the knowledge of this Bible. And let's see who's going to come to the Lord's Passover, April 21st, at the B&H Ranch. Yeah, B&H Ranch out there in Houston, Texas. Let's see who's going to come out there. Let's see how many blacks and Hispanics and North American Indians are going to make it down there. But let's see how many of y'all still going to celebrate Christmas. How many of y'all still celebrate Thanksgiving? Oh, it was a long time ago. Yeah, that was horrible. But this is for gathering our family together and all this nonsense, man. You know that's not what it's for. You do it because you want to do it. You do it because you want to serve another God. But here in the Israelite School UBK, we don't serve no other God besides our power, man. Besides Yahweh in the Hebrew. You understand? The Lord, Most High God. We don't serve nobody else besides Him. That's why you ain't gonna see us buying no Valentine's Day presents. You ain't gonna see us out there at St. Patrick, drinking in the bars. You ain't gonna see us on Christmas Day buying gifts for our kids. The hell with them kids. Ain't getting none from me. You know, you know what I mean? I ain't got no kids, but if I did, it wouldn't be getting none from me on Christmas. I'm telling you right now. If it was Thanksgiving, ain't no dirt, ain't no turkey. We eating cold sandwiches that day. You understand? Ain't no going out, none of that. But that's our problem as blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. We don't realize these days are wicked. We don't realize that this is what has destroyed us as a people. But let's continue. And not to God. Verse 8, ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that have nurtured you. How have we grieved Jerusalem? How have we forgotten God? Because here in America, our nationality has been stolen from us. Our heritage has been stolen from us. And they called you Native American. They called you Native to America. America named after a so-called white man. And now you out here proud to be claiming that, yeah, I'm First Nations of America. I'm Native to America. And you think that's your damn nationality. You think being African American is your nationality. Latin American, Latino American. You think that's your nationality. You think it's proud, it's something amazing to be African American or to be Native American. I mean, those are all titles that your slave master put on you, man. It's just as bad as being called an Indian, just as bad as being called a nigger. That's what we don't realize. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, we've been destroyed for too long. We have forgotten our God. We have turned against Jerusalem that has nursed us. We're going to drop that. We're going to get we're going to get, what do I want after that? We're going to get Hosea 4:1. Follow me there. Could, book of Hosea. Right by where we was at in Job. Right before Job. Don't follow me there. Now, I want to see if anyone got any questions. You'll pull them down in the comments. Lord allow, I should be able to get to them. Should be able to get to them this class. Lord allow, if I don't go over the time with my topic. I'm going to check them real quick. So if y'all got any questions, pull them down below concerning blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, about this truth, about this knowledge, how to get in it, hell, whatever. You got a question, put it out there, man. I'll bring it to you. We're going to be Hosea, the fourth chapter. Yeah, I'm going to find it for a second. I was tripping. But put it down below if y'all need it. Y'all got any questions? I'll read them right now. Like I said, if y'all could put, like I said, if y'all could like, share, get this video out there to all our brothers out there in the reservation, all our brothers in the barrios, all our brothers in the ghettos, man. It's time to unite as one people once again. Let's keep it going. Let me just double check. I don't got no questions. All right, no sweat. Let's keep it going. Go Hosea 1, verse what's it like? Hosea 4, verse 1. Follow me there. The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, ye blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. Let's keep going. For the Lord had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. He has a controversy, meaning he got a problem with the inhabitants of the land. Let's see why. Because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. What does that mean right there? There's no signs of his commandments. There's no signs of the ways of the Lord, especially here in America. Here in America, there's no signs of God here. There's an abortion clinic in every corner of the so-called North American, Indian, Black, and Hispanic neighborhoods. There's an abortion clinic for us to kill our own babies. There's drugs rampant in our communities. There's whoredom running about. Broken homes running rampant. Disease rampant. There's no signs of God in this land. Even amongst our so-called oppressors, there ain't no form of godliness in them. They want you to believe that they're so holier than thou and they're better than you, and you're just some savage and you're primitive. In reality, they're primitive. They're the ones who are into the orgies and are into having you kill your own babies, or the original drug dealers and the original murderers and the rapists. That's them. That's their culture. That's where they come from. They come from the caves and the Caucasus Mountains, and they want to call you primitive and unnatural, and they want to call you disgusting when they didn't even know how to bathe before they met you. The so-called oppressor, the European, he didn't even know how to bathe when he met you. He met you, he seen you put soap, oils all up on you, trimming the hairs that needed to be trimmed. Like, oh man, getting a little too long. Let me just trim it real quick. You know, he ain't do none of that. He was a caveman. He's a beast. To this day, they still are. But they want to walk around all high and mighty, acting like the North American Indians are such savages and disgusting monsters when they are. They're the ones who slaughtered their people for what? People showed them. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians built their empire to the greatest way it can ever be built. They slaughtered them, man. And they murdered them. They took their culture from them. That's why the Lord said there's no form of godliness, there's no sign of God in this place. That's why he got a controversy with the inhabitants of this land. Let's keep going. Verse 2, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. That's America for you right now. There's so much destruction, there's so much lies, there's so much killing that blood is touching blood. And when a North American Indian gets shot down by the cops, his blood touches the blood of his ancestors that was slaughtered 500, 400 years ago by these conquistadors and by these pilgrims. That's what the Lord's talking about right here. That's why we shouldn't have no presidents and presidents today. That's why we shouldn't celebrate any of America's holidays, because all of it has to do with our bloodshed. During the day, you wasn't celebrating no Christmas 400 years ago. You was dying on Christmas. You was getting lynched on Christmas. You wasn't celebrating no Valentine's Day. You weren't celebrating what else? President's Day. You weren't celebrating nothing. None of that. 4th of July. Y'all were all getting murdered that day. But now that you're a good slave and you're on a reservation and you're destroyed and they want to keep you under. Now, when they say, well, we're going to celebrate this, now you say, yeah, master, we are going to celebrate. What we going to celebrate? President's Day? I mean, the same presidents that murdered me, like Andrew Jackson and George Washington and Ulysses S. Grant and Ronald Reagan put drugs in our community, and you want me them? Okay, yeah, I'll celebrate them. All those that done wicked towards you, man. Blood touches blood in this land. And our bodies don't even get picked off the damn street. Is what the Lord's trying to say. The Lord trying to say that this place is so evil. It sheds so much blood that blood touches blood, man. Let's continue. Verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. What is it talking about? It's going to be talking about the destruction of America. America's destruction is coming. It's on a ticking time bomb, man. It's coming, and we don't gotta lift a finger. When we say America's going to be destroyed, we're not going to lift a finger. We're not going to, storm the White House like some people did. We stormed the Capitol building like our oppressors did. Yeah, we ain't going to do none of that. We're not going to plant bombs. We're not going to go out and riot. No, we're going to do the complete opposite. We're going to raise North American Indians back to the prestige that they used to have. We're going to get them off of drugs. We're going to stop the alcohol abuse on our reservations. We're going to stop our sisters from being stoned. You best believe that. We got Hebrew Academy graduates in here ready to die. Men prepared to die. And they're going to protect our sisters. That's our problem. We ain't got no protection. We need the protection of the Lord and the Lord's men. We can't trust these other nations. We can't trust all these people that have no moral compass. That's the problem. That's why this place is going to mourn, and that's why this place is going to be destroyed by the Lord, man. It's a beautiful thing. Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh shot for it. Let this place come to an end. Lord allow. That's what we all, that's going to be the day we be free. Let's continue. Verse 4. Yet let no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests. Oh, it's light. My bad. I skipped one. My bad. We're going to go verse 6. My bad. That's my fault. Verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Now they're talking about now us. They're talking about the inhabitants of the land. Why the Lord's going to destroy America. Why the Lord's got a problem with all the inhabitants of the land. Now he's talking about my people. He's talking about the Israelites here. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. We're destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We don't know who we are. We're destroyed in this place, man. We're so destroyed, we don't remember who we are. We don't know our heritage. Now other nations are walking around claiming them to be the Israelites. There was what was it? I believe it was in the Philippines. A group of people was calling themselves the tribe of Reuben or something like that. When the Seminole Indians is the tribe of Reuben. That can be proven through historical and biblical facts. You know, all these other nations are trying to steal your identity. You're the only one that doesn't want it. The true people that this is your identity of. You know what I mean? Like this is your identity. This is your treasure. This is what makes you special, but you don't want it. You're like, nah, man, we Asians. I'm good with that. I ain't good with that. I'm sorry. I can't let y'all be good with that. It wouldn't be brotherly of me to let you think you're some Asian. You're the Israelites of the Bible. You're not Africans. You're the Israelites of the Bible. You're not Spaniards. You're the Israelites of the Bible, and so on and so forth. Let's continue. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That's what's going on here in America. Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians, we've been rejected of the Lord. That's why you see the COVID-19 is destroying our reservations. COVID-19 is running rampant, and the Lord, and our prayers go out. And we have programs ready to aid any brothers that need help or sisters that need help during that time up there in the reservations. But then what we got to realize, that is happening because we continue to sin. Because we continue to turn against God and turn against our brother. And it's going to keep happening until we turn back to the Lord and his commandments, like we read in Baruch. Let's continue. I will also reject thee, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, I will also forget thy children. And that's what happened to us here in America. Our ancestors forgot the ways of the Lord. Started going into all these different religions and voodooism and all this destruction, and in Christianity and Catholicism, all this nonsense. Now the Lord has forgotten us. The Lord has forgotten the children of our ancestors, which is us. But we have to turn back. We got to break the curses. We got to break all these broken homes, all this alcohol abuse, all this drug abuse, all this destruction that is among the North American Indian and the Hispanic race. We gotta break it. The way we break it is by joining ourselves one together again in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under command Jay Hana. That's how we're gonna do it. There ain't gonna be no other organization that's gonna be able to help you like the school helps you. But if you don't want it, man, Lord be with you. We're not begging anyone. We're not forcing anyone to stay here. You don't want to be here, no. So Lord be with you. But those of you that do want to come in and change your life and be a different person, Lord's going to reward you for it. Lord's going to give you blessing. Let's drop that. We're going to start at, what do I want next? We're going to get Psalms 110 verse 5. We're going to get into like what the Lord, like we were saying before, what the Lord feels about America. Because America isn't going to last. America is on set time because of what is done to the North American Indians. Because of the destruction that's done to us, because of all the suffering we had to suffer, because of all the killing, all the murders, all the drug abuse, all the crimes that have been committed against us in this land, America is not going to last. So if you're a North American Indian that got some fantasy with America, that think America is going to last forever and then long live the land of the free and the brave, you in a delusion, man. This place is an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not going to last forever. Just like the Egyptians fell, just like the Greeks fell, so is America going to fall. And if you want that too, this is how you do it. You don't do it by picking up a gun. You want a gun, go ahead. Go get yourself a gun. Keep yourself protected. And that's not how you're going to beat these people. You're not going to beat them by protesting in the street with picket signs. That's not how you're going to beat them. You're going to beat them by waking your people up, by getting your people off of drugs, by getting your people off of being alcoholics, by getting your people, helping them from all the trauma that they suffered in this land. Not by giving up on them. Let's keep going. We're going to go Psalms 110 in the 5th verse. Follow me there. Psalm 110, 5th verse. Oh, shit. Okay. In the book of Psalms, chapter 110, verse 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike down through kings in the day of his wrath. In the day of the Lord's wrath, he going to strike down kings, the leaders of these nations. All these other nations that have benefited and have conspired against so-called North American Indians, blacks and Hispanics. They conspired against us. So the Lord's going to bring them down. All these great people that you think, the billionaires, the millionaires, the 666 white men that run this earth and this planet, the Lord's going to bring them down. They're sitting up there like kings. They're sitting up there in providence, and they ain't tripping. They ain't worried about what you worried about. They ain't worried about all the trauma and the PTSD and the depression you suffer. The North American Indian, we got so much mental illnesses because we've been destroyed. Because we've been raped and murdered and slaughtered, and that get passed down to our children. And then we bring it up and we don't see it as a real issue until one of us kills ourselves. Until one of us tries overdosing on some bad damn pills. Until one of us tries hanging ourselves or slitting our wrists or blowing our brains out. Because we think we're nothing but savages and Indians. When in reality, the Lord said we are the greatest people to walk the earth. And that's the promise that he got for us. And because of us being the greatest people, his chosen people, America is going to be destroyed. America is on borrowed time. America is going down. And thank the Lord for it every time you hear it. Let's continue. In the day of his wrath, verse 6, he shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. Let's keep going. Shall fill the place. Let me touch on that real quick. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. That's talking about what? That's talking about when Christ comes back, he's doing killing. When you hear Jesus Christ and you think of a little softy man, a little emotional cat that, he's gonna love everybody. He's gonna sit down and we're all gonna hold hands and sing Kumbaya. You got the wrong idea of Christ. Christ is a warlord and he's coming back for warfare. He's coming back to kick our oppressors in their goddamn teeth. You understand? That's what he's coming for. He's not coming to hold peace and love everybody. He's coming for warfare. He's coming to put people in the dirt for what they've done to us. If those bombs didn't kill you and you survived like a little roach, well, Lord be with you. You're going to die. You're going to get smashed like the roach you are. That's what's going to happen to all these people that have turned against us and that have used us for their own gain, that have destroyed us. Most importantly, our oppressors, these Europeans, these colonizers. Let's continue. Wound the heads over many countries, meaning what? The heads of many countries. He gonna wound a lot of them. Wanna know why? Because he's taking off their heads. He's cutting off their leaders, their factions. All the people that lead these other nations, they're gonna get cut off, man. Where is the president at the time when Christ comes? Off. They all going off. They all getting put into slavery when Christ comes back. You wanna know why? Because that's righteousness. For you doing that to our brothers, for you putting us through what you put us through, you're gonna suffer for it. That's the way Christ sees it, and that's in the Bible. Let's continue. Verse 7, he shall drink of the book in the way, therefore shall he lift up the head. Okay, that's it on that. Right? Yeah, that's it on that. We're gonna drop that and go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Y'all, a lot of y'all already know where I'm going at. And we're gonna wrap it up here. If anyone got any questions, like I said before, you can put them down below. I'll check them right before we get to this scripture. And like I said, again, y'all could share, like this video, man, comment, anything that'll help us get this video out there to our brothers on these reservations, man, to our family. Let's continue. Bowdy. No questions. All right, no sweat. All right, we're going to get Revelations 13th chapter, verse 9. Follow me there. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Now, what is the scriptures talking about? It's talking about if you have knowledge, if you have understanding, understand this. Let's see what the Lord wants us to understand. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Andrew Jackson, George Washington, all these presidents from Donald Trump all the way up, and Joe Biden, they have put us in slavery. They put us in captivity. Just because you can't see the chains anymore and the bars does not mean you're not in slavery anymore. The 13th Amendment, all that was made to keep blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians in the incarceration system, to keep getting locked up. They call it a rotating door. You go on out and you come back in. That's what happened with blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. We are destroyed as a people. We're destroyed. And now we're in slavery. Now we're in captivity. We're captives to this place. Now we can't free our minds from America. He that leadeth in captivity led us all into captivity for 500 years. They have put us in slavery. Let's continue. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Meaning what? You led these people into slavery, you gonna go into slavery. Who is that talking about? The so-called oppressor. For all the wickedness that they done to us, they're gonna go into slavery. And that's justice. Let's continue. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Meaning what? You killed these people. You killed over 77 million North American Indians, over 100 million plus in South and Central America, Native Americans. Lord knows how many in the islands and Puerto Rico and Trinidad and Barbados. Lord knows how many brothers you killed out there. He slaughtered us. They killed us. They killed us by the sword, and they're going to be killed with the sword. When Christ comes back, he's going to set judgment on all these people. Let's continue. Must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is our patience. This is our faith. In the Israelite school, UPK, of course. But other people, they don't look for this day. They don't want this day to ever come. They don't want Christ to ever come and rule on the throne and for all oppressors to be put down and under. You want to know why? Because they love these people too much. They care about them too much. They want to live and hold together. They want white women. That's what it is. They want to sit with white women. They want a white husband. They don't want to be indigenous, so they don't want to have a black husband or a Hispanic husband. They don't want none of that. They want John Smith. They want to be Pocahontas. You want to know why? Because Pocahontas is a perfect representation of the lie America tells you. Pocahontas, the movie, it shows you all the lies, and you know she fell in love with him, and the tribe and the English, they came together and we're family now and we're gonna sing along. When in reality, Pocahontas was a slave victim. She was raped, she was murdered, she was molested. It was what she went through. And they slaughtered her tribe and murdered her. But you know, you listen to America, like, nah. She was a princess, you know. She married a white man and they lived happily ever after. That's a perfect representation of America. America gonna slaughter you or murder you, and then tell you the lie that it was all a great happy family, just like Thanksgiving, just like all these other holidays that you celebrate like a damn idiot, man. With that, I'm preaching officer of 500 Karyash. I'm the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. That's my time. Make sure y'all make it down to the Lord's 52nd annual Passover at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Player Street in Houston, Texas. $200 per person, anyone 17 and under. April 24th at sundown, man. That whole week is going to be a fire week. I don't know if y'all seen the itinerary. I believe 23rd, I believe. No, I believe it's 20. I don't know. I'll post the itinerary if I could. Just know we're going to have the slaughter of the lambs. We're going to have the Lord's Passover. We're going to have a mansion party. Lord, we're going to have a mansion party. That's gonna be something else. I ain't never been to no mansion. I'm looking forward to that one. So, you know, it's going to be something great. If you are Black, Hispanic, or North American Indian, make sure you're able to make it down here, man, and celebrate the Lord's 51st annual Passover. That's like 52nd annual Passover with the Israelite School UPK. With that, shalom. That's my time.